black coffee. Still on my fast, but good morning. But today is both acting class as well as ab day. I might actually change that because, I do I do acting, but I do a lot of ab days for this channel. And abs are a huge part of men's physique competitions. But just to change it up a little bit, I might add in an extra back or arm day because I already did my chest video. You got 2 shoulder day videos. So just to mix it up a little bit. But that's neither here nor there. That's still up for debate. Anyway, like I said, we have acting class today. It might be mostly modeling focused, which I'm fine with. I've been doing a lot of modeling practice as of late. So I'm excited to do a little bit more of that. With the modeling classes, if it is going to be more of that, doing it online is a little bit iffy, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. But I might go in person like I did for when I went to be Beetlejuice. Outside of that, though, what else is there going to be? Oh, yeah. The Criterion sale is happening at Barnes & Noble's. Now, going to get Pinocchio because, like I said, Del Toro is a master, and I loved his Frankenstein adaptation. So I'm excited to see that. And I might also get the movie Sorcerer. Not sure about that yet. But either way, we'll see how it plays out. And anyways, let's get our days started. I got to get changed. And let's have ourselves a pretty good day. I also got something a little bit more fun as well. So that woman I was doing split trainings from, Nina, she was offering a new split program, and I wound up getting it. It was half off price, so I only paid like $12 for it. And we will see. So I'm actually going to start my day off with that. Whether or not I'm going to record it, we shall see, because I don't really have a lot of room to record a workout session. It's not really a workout, but it's still a training in and of itself. So we'll see if I'll record any of that. I might do just progressions throughout the week. Be like, this is where I am now, this is where I am now, this is where I am now, this is where I am now. She's adding in when we should be taking days of rest for the trainings, as well as a lot of more functional mobility as opposed to just stretching, which I'm excited for. But anyway, let's get our day started. Let me finish my black coffee and then brush my teeth, already shaved, and we're gonna get this day a-rolling. Peace. And we have finished acting class now. It's been a few hours since then, obviously, but you can tell, if you can see outside, it's a little bit more dark out. Trash! But I just wanted to, after acting class, just kind of sit down and reflect on some things. Nothing too serious, just getting my thoughts out. It doesn't matter! But we are actually going to head to the fitness center. I'm going to make my pre-workout, then we're going to head to the fitness center. I decided we're just going to train abs because, I just want to stay consistent with the scheduling, because I was doing that thing where I was like messing the days around so that way I can get training in and get those videos out. Piece of shit. But I think it's better for me to stay consistent to schedule as opposed to trying to hold that yawn in, as opposed to trying to make up for lost video. But anyway, like I said, I'm gonna make my pre-workout now. We're gonna head to the fitness center and we're gonna train some abs.
Is the pump.
So I'll see you guys over there. One thing I've been thinking about kind of lately is the idea of guilty pleasures. Now, for myself, I'm going to kind of use that a little liberally here, in that some of these aren't really quote-unquote guilty pleasures, but they're kind of what I would just watch and or listen to when I just want some more simple enjoyment, as opposed to, reading an epic novel, going into a deep movie, or analyzing a very thoughtful TV show. Just something that I would put on if I just wanted to truly relax a bit more. And the one thing I really like, and this is really silly,
at least a lot of people probably find it really silly, is AI presidents either making ranking videos, playing video games, or even people who kind of make short films with AI voices of the presidents. Now, keep in mind, I'm not a fan of AI, at least the way it's being used, but if AI presidents were all we were getting, then I'd be 100% for it because it is a lot of fun to watch. You know, Donald Trump being the bully, Joe Biden being just this bumbling old man, and Barack Obama being the voice of reason is never not funny. That if whenever I put it on, I always just get the goofiest smile on my face, even if they're not the highest quality audio. A lot of the writing in these is genuinely hilarious. Now, outside of things like that, I also watch haunted videos, or quote unquote haunted, because as everyone who watches me knows, I don't believe in ghosts, but I'm open to being proven wrong. So now, again, this is going into what I mean by liberal use of the term guilty pleasure. Because a lot of these can get genuinely atmospheric and creepy, and some of the creepiness doesn't even come from, the actual ghosts. It's just where they are, where they're located, and just the aura surrounding the area. And outside of that, another thing I really enjoy is I enjoy listening to creepypastas, and I've talked about those before, and some creepypastas still hold up. I mean, Ben Drown is still genuinely creepy. Even though I learned recently that they expanded that lore that made the story a little less creepy, but we ball. And definitely one of the other cool things to listen to is just lost media information. Now, it's obviously really cool when things are found, but knowing there's just missing films, music, shows, sometimes even books, is pretty interesting because obviously I want all art to be preserved, but the little air of mystery, it's like being Nicolas Cage in National Treasure or something like that, in the hunt for these lost pieces of media, these lost pieces of art. That's what makes them fascinating. And obviously, we want all of these to be found one day. I mean, London After Midnight is one of the most important films out there to be found because it's such an important piece of horror history, but it's still just kind of lost in the ether. And keep in mind that there are some lost films that were lost at one point, but were found. Movies like, Nosferatu, I think, being the one that first comes to mind. And obviously there are books that I find to be kind of guilty pleasure-ish. Now, those tend to be the Starship Troopers knockoffs, like Orphanage. Those aren't bad, keep in mind, but they are very simple books, quick reads, pulps, short stories, all a lot of fun. And like I said, I went to Barnes & Noble's to grab Pinocchio by Guillermo del Toro, but I obviously had to look at the Starship Troopers, science fiction section. Just a few steps away, there were a lot of Lord of the Rings books, which is great because Lord of the Rings is one of the most important series of all time. And then I was looking for a copy of Phantom of the Opera, given that it was the 100th anniversary of the 1925 movie, and I really wanted to read the book. And this section here, this is like the $10 book section for classics, and I was looking all over for it, and it wasn't here. They did have the book in like a bigger collection, but it was just a little too expensive. After we got home, my roommate and I got a chance to watch Pinocchio, the 22 version by Del Toro, as you saw me holding a little bit earlier. And you know what? I absolutely love it. There's a biblically accurate angel there, which is rare to see in movies. But Del Toro's such an artist that if any filmmaker would add a biblically accurate angel, it would be him. And one thing I definitely noticed in this movie was the visual style is very similar to Pacific Rim, given that everything is kind of lit in certain ways. Now, obviously, it's going to have a similar visual style to his other films. It's Del Toro. But that, my brain just couldn't help but think about Pacific Rim a lot in the movie, especially with the giant fish.
So the movie is over, and it is now the next day. And what I want to talk about is the importance of Thanksgiving. Now, we already know the American history of Thanksgiving. We get taught it every single year. It's a very important part of America and how we became what we are today. But what I wanted to talk about is the overall importance of outside of things like that. Now, a couple of videos ago, I was discussing the idea of embracing the slow of autumn. And that was me just talking about the early hours of, October and things like that. But more to that, though. After Halloween, it almost feels like there's moments where we want to hop from Halloween and immediately go on to Christmas. I mean, you start seeing Christmas decorations even before Halloween is done. Like even before halfway through October, Christmas decorations are already there. Now, obviously, we all love Christmas because you get to see the pretty lights, you get gifts, you get to meet friends, you get to meet family. So Christmas obviously is an important part of the year too. It's very fun. We all love Christmas, and it's a time for us to celebrate the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. But I wish we would embrace Thanksgiving more, because it feels like we want to just go from Halloween, skip over November, and go right to Christmas. And that upsets me because it's like we want to rush through life to get to just one very specific thing that we enjoy. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to get to the thing that you enjoy the most. I mean, when Godzilla -1 was coming out, I was like hyped for that to come out. When Sonic the Hedgehog 3 was coming out last year, I was, come on, let's get to Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I was hyped for it, and I was counting down the days for that to come. But really, because one thing that everyone talks about is it feels like time just is going by faster and faster and faster. Now, a lot of that does come down to we have a lot of instant satisfaction with social media and things being on the internet. We can get like that. So our brain is always getting a dopamine release. You know what they say, time flies when we're having fun. That's kind of what falls into that. And when we've been focusing so much on going from Halloween to Christmas as quickly as we are, we're not really taking a time to slow down for a minute. We're just frantically going faster and faster to get to Christmas. And like I said, a lot of it comes down to us, that mindset of time is just flying by. It's because we are just trying to do that mental shortcut of skipping right over November just to get to December. Because that's mentally where a lot of people are right now, is they're already in December getting ready to celebrate Christmas. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with celebrating Christmas. Christmas is a very fun time of year. There's a reason why we all love it. The Christmas music is a lot of fun. The decorations, the giving, all that is great. It's fun, but again, we are just skipping over an entire part of the year just to get there. And then when we skip over November just to get to December, once New Year's is over, we then have these months of like nothing happening, and everyone complains about getting that time of year where it feels like nothing is happening, because we don't know how to embrace those slower moments of the year, because we want to get to those events, those very specific events quickly, that we basically create that mental shortcut to get from there to there. And when I see us wanting to rush that time so much, it makes me think that we are not truly embracing the time that God has given us on this earth, because our time on here is not unlimited. It's not even close. We're here for a few years tops, and the fact that we want to rush so much from one thing to another is not letting us truly embrace the time we have on here. We're always looking for the next dopamine release. We're always looking for the next fun thing. Like I said, we are skipping over an entire month. For some people, they are skipping over October to get to December. It's your life. You live it how you want to, but Thanksgiving is such a fun time of year. Because one thing I do talk about on here, I mean, the title of these videos is Christian Girl Autumn. And Christian Girl Autumn isn't just Halloween time. It's autumn as a whole. Not just this very specific time of autumn and then immediately hopping over into Sisters in Christ Christmas. My roommate a couple days ago, he was listening to Christmas music and I straight up texted him, I better not be hearing Christmas music already. Obviously, it was meant to be lighthearted and fun. I don't care if he wants to listen to Christmas music now. But it does just... Thanksgiving is cool, you know? The aurora, the atmosphere, how it is like... That's truly the time of year when the leaves are falling. You see the pumpkins still out. You get to have fun on the day. And it's like people will very much celebrate the day of Thanksgiving, but they don't treat it like the holiday that it actually is. Thanksgiving is a blessing, my friends. And we should be willing to celebrate. Now, we should be celebrating thanks every day, but the specific time of year, the fact that we don't treat it as well as we do something like Christmas. Now, of course, like with how big Christmas is, I understand it. Or how we don't even treat it the way we treat Halloween. And Halloween's literally my favorite time of year. Halloween, 4th of July, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all awesome times of year. Like, I'm not going to make a list of my top 5 favorite times of year. I mean, obviously, like I said, Halloween, 4th of July. But it is really just a shame because I vaguely remember people actually treating Thanksgiving like they do Christmas. I mean, obviously not to the extent, but you know, you still saw the give thanks decorations, the hand turkeys, things like that. But now it just seems like those things have gone away. And again, a lot of it comes down to we just want to skip one time of year just to get to another. Completely taking for granted the time that God has given us. Again, I fall into that too. When there's things I want to see and things I want to do that only happen a certain time of year, I want to hop right to it. But I've been kind of growing out of that. Like I've even, over the last few years, I even said, I don't get excited for Halloween until October 1st. Because I want to have the patience for it. So that way, when that time of year comes, I will truly appreciate it. And that's why I want people to embrace Thanksgiving again. Don't hop into Christmas in the middle of October. Don't hop into Christmas at the end of December, September. Because some places even start doing that. Because if you truly start feeling the love of Christmas after Thanksgiving, like I'll even give it the caveat, because Halloween's an entire month. Christmas is 25 days. So I understand if you want to start getting excited for Christmas the day after Thanksgiving, that's fine too. Or maybe even after Thanksgiving meal. I think that's fine. But if you truly take the moment and just embrace it for a little bit, just let that heart grab onto the time of year and just really love it. So that way when Christmas time actually truly comes around, it matters all that more. And again, that's why I don't start getting excited for Halloween until October 1st. So that way, when that month comes around and I can embrace it, it means something. It's a case of sometimes less is more. And for Christmas, I don't want to get excited for it until the day after Thanksgiving. So that way, when the time comes, I can truly, truly love and embrace it. Because I do love Christmas, don't get me wrong. But it feels like as time continues to go on, we are just forgetting and ignoring Thanksgiving. And that's a shame. Because again, we are taking for granted the very little time God has given us on here. And I don't want that to happen. Again, it's everyone's life. Live it how you want to. But just really sit down and think about it. Just take a few more weeks and let yourself feel Thanksgiving. So that way when Christmas time does come, it matters all the more. Anyways, this is a little bit of a short end of day video, or start of day, even though it's basically gray outside and still pseudo-ly dark out. I mean, it's not dark out at all, and it's like 12 p.m. now. But, just cloudy day. But this was just something I wanted to get off my chest. Enjoy Thanksgiving. Because it is a great time of year. Anyways, guys, I'm going to call it. Have a good day, and peace out. Peace.